Okay, ready to go right there. Keep it out front.
Oh man.
Oh, oh man, that's incredible. There you go. This is my daughter Juliette. Obviously, you already know that. Today we're gonna do something abnormally crazy. She's never handled a venomous snake in her life. Now, that being said, I just showed her the snake and she said, what'd you say?
We're gonna go for the big one.
It's the biggest, it's probably the heaviest venomous snake I have here next to the Kaboom Viper. The Kaboom Vipers actually are one of the fastest striking snakes there are. That being said, ours are extremely mellow, but this big giant eastern diamondback is probably so tame that you could do things that you would never do with a venomous snake. So that being said, we're starting off with venomous snake hooks. Now honestly, I don't use a venomous snake hook. I'm gonna today, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the proper tool to pick up a venomous snake. Because what it is, it's round and it stops the snake from left to right. So the idea, Juliette, is that when the snake's head's here, right, he can't strike this way or this way very far because he can't go left or right. Mm-hmm. So if the other hooks that I have are they're basically just 90-degree hooks, right? So they're just like this. Mm-hmm. So that means it could strike this way. Yeah. Now I take my hook and spin it in a way where it works, and I'm real comfortable with them. But that being said, we're gonna use venomous snake hooks. Now, I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna show everybody how to do it. Now keep in mind, you really honestly should never mess with a venomous snake. Even in this case, I'm teaching her for a long ways off in the future. I'm not leaving tomorrow and she's gonna become the venomous snake handler.
It's probably good for me to know though.
But in a 911, if I'm I'm out of country or state or I'm not alive, or Tim is sick or whatever, I still prefer my daughter that's been dealing with big crocodiles and alligators and all kinds of snakes her whole life to have training so that it's just a normal standard thing. Funny thing is, I've never showed you how to do this.
No.
Ever.
Definitely never.
Ever. So that being said, this is time to learn how to do it. So we're going to start with the tamest snake on the planet Earth. If there was a venomous snake, people hold them. It's funny, it just popped its head up because it literally thinks it's a Burmese python. Yeah. Now Burmese python, that's a double-edged sword, because a Burmese python that thinks there's food will come charging you with no common sense, which is exactly what it just did when I hit that lock. So the lights are off because it's after hours, because obviously you can see how it's coming right to the glass? That is a food response. So it's literally wanting food really bad. That being said, come on. So now, Juliette, so the first thing I would do is I would put the back. Now, see how the head's so far away? Mm-hmm. You hold the snake like that. See, so now the snake can't strike backwards. Yeah. You see, so now the idea, it can strike backwards or very fast, but the idea is that I've got control. You can't handle a snake like, even this snake here is so heavy. It's hard. It's probably one of the harder snakes to handle. But that being said, I can get right here. I can hold that hook to where it's holding both ways, and it's so far ahead of me, it's pretty safe. So look how big that is a big rattlesnake. So you want to like hold it like that. Now, when you get down here, you want to back up. Now this snake's mellow, so you'd never want to be that close to, say, the diamondback we have. The diamondback, we would probably just take it like this. So it's so tame, it's ridiculous. Kid. I'm still going to treat it as if it's the meanest snake in the world, because at the end of the day, it's still a venomous snake. So you can double hook it, but when you double hook them, you have to pick them up from the front. I'm not even great at double hooking, to be honest. I usually tail them, and a lot of people in Australia don't even use hooks, which is crazy to me. So it's literally such a big snake, it's hard to double hook. Yeah. So what we would do at a 911, you could use a pair of tongs if you had to, but you just get a bucket and literally, you can put the bucket down on a big snake like this, get it in, and just make sure that you stand the bucket up with the snake hooks. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I'm going to pick it up the way I like to pick it up. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to put that right there so it can't strike backwards at me. There we go, there we go. And there's a big venomous snake right there. And so that's the idea. Like I said, a lot of people pick up venomous snakes without anything. So when you set them down, you got to remember it's a whole other movie. Yeah. He's got to keep a good distance, at least 3/4 of its body length, because between lunging and striking, it can do a 3/4 of its body like that, especially if it's mean. So let's go ahead and see if you can pick that up. So remember, first lock it in so it can't left or right yet.
With not doing double.
No, just one hook, just like that. Oh, no, back up. Remember, you're a little bit close.
Okay.
So just like that. So what I do is still, you almost have to get it like there first, but you can hook it like that, and then you pick it up. And you use that hook just like that.
Okay.
And that keeps it from doubling back on you. There you go, right there.
Oh, that thing is heavy.
Oh, not too far forward. You got to come back a ways. Be ready to back out of your way. Okay, there you go, right there. Keep it out front.
Oh man, that thing is crazy.
Okay, I say she did good. It has a rabbit inside of it. Now let's just carry it over there and put it back away. And then let's try another type of snake. Whew, that's a big venomous snake right there. So now you're going to have to let go of the tail, right? So just go ahead slowly, unhook it. Yeah, there you go. And then we're kind of fighting each other's hooks. So we'll just let it crawl in. And of course, if it's a really crazy snake, it's more dangerous than that. You're going to have to like put it in and you know, have the enclosure closed partially. Yeah, there you go. Now obviously you got to put your fingers in here.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be treated like it's literally, if any part of the skin gets you, you're going to die. Yeah, so you got the idea.
Feels appropriate, yeah.
Right. Now, obviously the most
I'm definitely breathing really heavy.
Now, the good news is, don't do that alone anyway. We'll get somebody with you. Obviously, you know all the people to call that have some venomous experience.
Yeah, whole list of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a whole list of venomous people in an emergency to call anyway. But that being said, she needs to probably be on the bottom of that list anyway to start learning how to do it. Let's go look at a Kaboom Viper. Might as well show you guys a beautiful snake. You want to unlock that, Juliette? There, keys on here. It doesn't work very good. But you just put it in and wiggle it. Now these are the fastest striking venomous snake on earth. That being said, these have never struck. I'm still gonna pick it up first, kind of get an idea here. Now, the other thing is we know right where to go if we get bit. We go right to Loma Linda, and they will take care of everything. Now, that being said, God forbid it ever happens.
Okay, I don't know if I know the wiggle.
Yeah, try the other one. Try the other one. One more, it's right there. Just gotta wiggle it like crazy. Whoop, there you go. Okay, so these are really short, stout-bodied snakes. Very, very quick. Very, very quick. Ugh. I'm gonna open a glass with that. Man, are you kidding me? Okay. So, I'm gonna hook it. Now the funny part about this, here's how I would tell you to honestly do this. This you're gonna see is a lot easier with 2 hooks than that rattlesnake was, just because it's lighter.
Yeah.
So you see you can just boom, hook it like that. It's heavy, but you can get it in a trash can. And if you gotta bag it, that's a whole other issue. So the truth of the matter is if you bag it, what you would do is you'd get it in the bag. You know what, go get us a bag.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you how to, this is really the scary part. So if you have an emergency, you got to get your snakes out, right? What if there's a fire, hurricane, you live somewhere weird? You got to do things carefully and planned out a little bit. So sometimes knowing how to do this is more important than having the experience, because you don't bag snakes all the time, venomous snakes. Now that thing is absolutely nuts. Man, look at the size of that head. My goodness. That is crazy. We're going to set it up here so you can see how beautiful it is while she's getting the bag. So I'm going to double hook it. There you go. Look at that. Oh man. That's incredible. That's a beautiful snake. So, set it on the ground. We're going to take this big girl down. Come on. We're going to put her down here. Oh. Now, they make a proper tool, but that being said, I'll show you how we do it in a pinch. Come on, girl. I could do this a lot better if you weren't watching. How's it work that way? Okay. Come on. So now, what I'm going to do is I take the bag, keeping an eye on his head. I'm going to slide it in. And now, she's going to still coming back this way. There she goes. Now her head's the right way. Now, here's the thing. So what you got to do now is you got to get this tail in, because when we go to do that, when you're tying it off, obviously there's a big set of fangs in there, and she's going to be a little bit nervous. You can see the head right there. Those fangs. This will not slow down the fangs. So there, you just twist the bag. So you never touch that bag. It can't lean against your pants. It can't do anything. You gotta, when you pick it up, even when you pick the bag up, you gotta make sure you're way up on the knot. You know, you can support the bag if you need to with a hook. But you see, she's going right up to that bag. So then she's like that. Then you just put her in a tub, a plastic tub that makes it safe. So that's how you basically put it in there. Now, getting it out is the reverse of that. So obviously you got a venomous snake here. You start pulling that knot and there's a snake coming up, it can get you right through that bag. So yeah, get that untied. And we'll just go ahead. Now you do the opposite. Now you hold that like that. Boom. Make sure you don't get your hand there. See, like even right there isn't something you should do. So you get to see it, it's already coming up. So just boom, slide it right out. And there's that big old Kaboom Viper. Unbagged. So, okay, Juliette, so this is the same as the big one, except I'm gonna have you pick it up without anything. No hands. Without anything. Without anything is in touching it. That sounded really backwards. Yeah. So you're gonna hook it like it's about a third in, and then you're gonna hook it about 2/3 in, and you're gonna pick it up. Now you gotta almost hook it like that. You gotta use them to put the It's really heavy. Yeah. Okay. And so remember, you know what to do. I'll be watching you every second anyway. Okay, I'm going to open it up so you can actually put it away. Then we'll do a more detailed venomous handling after we successfully finish a halfway one. There you go. Okay. So this hook here, just twist it up so that it's up. There you go. Yeah, there you go. But you got to restart. You're too far back.
Okay.
There you go. So there you go. A little bit further back. Right about there. Boom. There you go. Now go ahead and.
There we go.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And don't ever be worried about setting it back down if you need to restart.
Yeah. No, I'd rather do that.
Letting it come up the hook is not an option when you're a beginner.
Yeah.
It's not even an option when you're not a beginner, but some of these guys are so good with venomous snakes. They let them come up the hook. They know how to do everything. They do it without hooks and everything else. I'll leave that to them. I don't pretend to be the king of venomous. I'm nothing to venomous. So I'm not a prince of venomous. I'm not a king of venomous. I just like venomous snakes to educate people. So I know enough that I got bit once when I was 23. I'm 50 something now, 57 almost. Dang! Birthday's coming up. Anyway, so I don't want to get bit again, ever again. So I may not handle them perfect, but I know how to not get bit, and I'm going to hopefully keep it that way for the rest of my life. And I definitely don't want you ever getting bit. Yeah. That is not good. She wasn't even around when I got bit, so.
No, never around.
So anyway, let's lock it back up. We got double locks for a reason. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I think you better leave the venomous snakes to the venomous kings. Is there a snake that freaked you out more than the other?
I'd probably say the rattlesnake, simply because it was so much larger. There's a lot of snake.
No, most people,
but I know the capacity of that one.
Right, is gnarly.
Yeah. So.
But still, that snake is really heavy.
Yeah.
Like it takes everything It takes some strong
My
arms.
wrist hurt afterwards.
Right.
Immediately.
And so funny part is that snake is almost as safe to handle with 2 hands than it is a snake and a hook in a hand, which is crazy, which doesn't make any sense, and you'd never do that if you were a beginner. So we have to use our tools.
Yeah.
That's what the tools are made for.
I will
These are
always be a
snake
beginner.
hooks. These are snake hooks, and these are secondary educational tools. Go grab the pair of tongs. This here is really too short. They make them like about that long. You want like a 48 incher. And then you grab the 48 incher and you grab the snake like that, and because it's longer, you do like that, and you just pick them up, put them in a trash can, grab a lid, a deep trash can the snake can't strike out of, snap the lid on and call your local people, or if you have a little bit of experience, drive it somewhere close by, don't take it to another state, and let the snake go in a safe place where there's not people. So killing them it doesn't help anybody, it doesn't help the snake, it doesn't help your rodent. All it's gonna happen, you have more rodents, you're gonna end up with more snakes anyway, because the more rodents there are, the more snakes they're gonna be, because that's their job, is to keep the rodents in check, and your job is to let the snakes do that. That being said, you remember, 90% of the time the snakes are not venomous. They're just out there taking care of your rodent problem, and they just need to be left alone, including the rattlesnakes. They're not gonna chase you down, they're not gonna come after you, but if you have little kids may try to pick them up, so therefore it's okay to, otherwise, honestly, if you're adults, just let the thing go. Don't, just walk away. The snake will disappear. You probably won't see it for another 2 years. And that's if you walk the same path every day, because at the end of the day, these snakes just want to live in their wild habitat, eating what they like to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and leaving you alone and being left alone. Pretty much that easy. Wow. That sounds like what a lot of people want to do. I just told Juliette, wow, you did really great. And then she brought this revelation.
Our old Venomous guy, I literally watched him for years because you had to have 2 people every time you cleaned, change the water, fed, anything. So that was my job, is to clean the rest of the wall while he was doing the Venomous. So I've had technically years of experience of observing, which for me is a lot. Because
Right.
you can learn through observation a lot.
Now, that being said, that's why you don't go out and start catching venomous snakes. Work with a venomous snake keeper that's done it for a long time, that hasn't been bit like me. And have them explain exactly why. Take a class, a few courses online. Some of these venomous keepers actually train people. And you know what? Venomous snakes are really meant to be out in the wild, eating their food as prey, being left alone, and you being left alone. So anyway, great observation that you'd done all that. That's probably why she did better than me. Anyway,
I've been watching it for years. That's how I learned how to pull eggs, is watching you for years.
I wish I could say I watched it for years, but luckily I have a lot of years of snake experience, so I can kind of tell what a snake's going to do, moves, bite, and strike. That being said, every time I pull out the albino rattlesnake, it's a nightmare. Anyway, peace out. Good job, Juliette.
Thanks.